Welcome to the Collective Minds podcast.
It's never fucking had it.
Shut. No way.
Never fucking
No
had it.
way.
Like, Austin, you trying to tell us something else right now?
As humans, everybody lives in the same reality. We could all be in the same room together, but we perceive it differently.
All that experience, all that emotions, all the things that happen in that one life is boiled down to what we call instinct. And that's the only thing we can bring over to the next life.
If you won't behave, you will be canceled.
Coincidence? Coincidence? Coincidence. There cannot be three. Ends of times. That's like the what is that? The death clock I was talking about earlier. What is that? The Doomsday Clock. Yeah. That's interesting, isn't it? It's just weird because you hear about it, but you never really. I never what's the Doomsday Clock, right?
I never knew what that is. Go ahead and break that down.
That's what I was saying. Like, I figured I'd bring it up and you guys would be like, yeah, I know what that is, but I've heard of it. We hear about it every few years, but
Oh, you guys don't know about it?
No,
it's not like a real clock. It's just a bunch of like scientists evaluating the world and basing it off of kind of like this ideology of close to midnight. So the closer you get to midnight, like midnight would be when the world ends, apocalyptic, and we're 90 seconds from it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
90 seconds.
the Doomsday Clock was created like in the 1940s. Basically by a whole bunch of scientists, and it was basically to measure um how far we are towards human annihilation. If the clock strikes 12, that means all hell breaks loose, kind of thing. It's the apocalypse in terms of what we can do to ourselves. Whether it would be like a nuclear holocaust or like a big giant meteor gonna hit the world, kind of thing. Um, as far as I know, I don't think we've been this close to midnight.
No, never, because it was made in 1947. No, we've never been this close. Which this is based off of nuclear war. So that's, I think that's what they take it in. It's pretty much how much people are fighting that have nuclear power, and we're closer than 2022. So 2020, 100, 2023, 90. So that means 2020, 21, 22, 23. In what? 20, no, it was okay. So those 3 years, or those 2 years, 3 years were 100 seconds. Blah, 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 blah. I'm getting confused. And before that, 2019 was the same as 2018, which is 2 minutes to midnight. But yeah, 2023, it dropped another 10 seconds.
And if you look, since 2012, we're getting closer and closer, which also coincides with what Jay was saying in the group about get ready for a lot of nuclear war talks and, the drums of war kind of being beat.
Yeah. So when it started, we were 7 minutes to midnight, and then 49, 3 minutes, 53, 2 minutes. But this could be, a lot of this is probably propaganda, like Cold War era shit, which we're still kind of in. It's still Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Soviet Union, but I mean, just a different name, I guess.
Well,
but they're still doing it.
Since the Cold War, all nations were building up their nuclear arsenal, right? But in the late 90s, early 2000s, we've signed I forgot what the treaty was, but we basically, the US and like a whole bunch of other nation powers have reduced their nuclear arsenal. The big ones is Russia and the US. Although Israel denies having any, I'm pretty sure they have a sizable arsenal.
And the only way the United States reduced theirs is by Hillary Clinton selling it off and making,
Yeah.
lining her own freaking pocketbook that way. Selling our uranium off to whatever country that was, China.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess Biden just made a deal. Well, I don't know if it was him, it was a bunch of people, but trying to make a deal to get more money into Ukraine because they want it to last through the election year for political reasons. But could you imagine? Right, but how much sense does that not make if you were like trying to help the world? You know what I mean?
Oh, it makes sense for them trying to maintain power and control the narrative.
Absolutely.
Wasn't there something that stated if we were in war times during the election that they couldn't, that there was one way to postpone an election is by the US being in a conflict?
Oh yeah, martial law. Yeah, that'd have to be a big deal though. But yeah, he could go, we're not in like one big huge war, we're in like several proxy wars.
Well, the declaration of actually going into war suspends any election until that war is in like a state where we could hold elections.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of leads me to my next topic, actually. What about that proxy war with Iran we're doing here? Have you guys heard stuff about that? I'm starting to hear shit about that, and it's very interesting.
I've heard stuff. Fill me in.
That's like the whole Israel and
Hamas.
Yeah, war thing is a proxy war that we're just starting the tip of. Just like Ukraine with Russia, we're doing it with Iran. So now we're in a proxy war with two nuclear powers.
All I know is that Israel, as a defensive nation, was somehow caught sleeping at the wall that they hold so much technology and guards and stuff to let a whole bunch of people on gliders through. Like that, their wall, their defensive wall is the most heavily guarded wall worldwide, more than North Korea and South Korea. Like, I feel, in my opinion, outside of everyone's opinion, that it was an intentional let in. Like some person high up in um I don't want to say things that's unnecessary in Rumble, because Rumble is although it allows free speech, there's still gonna be some censoring. But some people high up um knew what's happening on the other side of the wall, and for some miracle, um they were the terrorists, quote unquote terrorists, was able to penetrate the impenetrable wall. And I'm pretty sure it was intentional.
They were let in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been hearing quite a bit of people saying that actually.
Like it's like the US letting in Osama bin Laden on trucks through a southern border. That's like I'm pretty sure someone in the high rank of Israel knew something was up. I'm pretty sure they had surveillance of them planning something, and I'm pretty sure they know the timeline of what was going to go down. You can't say Israel was caught off guard. It's just like saying Russia just sat there while they saw I don't know.
Ukraine.
I was gonna say Ukraine, but it's not really a good example because they bitch slapped them.
But yeah, basically a stand down was issued.
Yeah.
Stand down. Fucking crazy. I gotta show you guys this. I just came across this and it just clicked in my head what the fuck is actually kind of going on here. Share screen. Read this real quick, if you can see it.
I'm not in front of my computer.
Gotcha.
Since the Taliban victory in Afghanistan, Iran-Afghan relations have been marked by deepening border clashes and simmering tensions over mutual differences, issues related to water policy, trade, and Islamic Emirates sidelining of pro-Iran elements from political power.
Thank you, Nathan. So the Taliban's victory in Afghanistan, that means when Biden pulled out and he left all those weapons there, that is a Taliban victory, meaning, let's think about this. What does this sound like? Biden giving weapons and money, because, I mean, there's probably a lot of money that was left there, to an enemy of a nuclear fucking power. This is I can't believe no one pointed this out before. I never realized this. When he left all that shit in Afghanistan, that was so they could go and fight Iran. I'm hearing myself echo.
Sorry, 1 sec.
Okay.
Just go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to fix it. Just keep talking.
All right, gotcha. So, yeah, it looks like whoever's running Dirty Joe over here is starting beef with Iran and Russia by fueling its enemies. So that's why they're going with the whole look at Ukraine, support Ukraine, look over here, look over here, look over here, forget Afghanistan. They're doing the same thing. But instead, we've been sending like billions of dollars, right, to Ukraine for funding of help these people. They look like you. And with the people that don't look like you, that you know nothing about other than we've been like terrorizing them for 20 fucking years, plus years, we just left all of our shit there and got our troops out, because go get our troops out, even if we did it wrong. We funded the people we were over there allegedly fighting with, what did didn't they become like the biggest armed, like well-armed military in the world when we did that? We pretty much left all of our shit. I saw that stat somewhere, and it was like they had the most amount of whatever of this and this and this. When we left, we funded them to go attack Iran. It's what this looks like, because it also calls them like a border nation between them and India. So
I wonder if to be their neighbor.
Yeah, I wonder if India is also feeling it too. But yeah, so that's exactly what's going on here. It looks like that's what it looks like.
The interesting that comes to mind is that we did leave all that equipment there, right? And along with that equipment, you've left what? Drones, Predator drones. You've left helicopters. You've left tanks. Not only like when the news came out, it was more like small arms, like RPGs, ARs, all the small arms. But then if you think about it, they also acquired tanks, the APCs, and those vehicles, even with the ARs, when you're going into battle, you're not gonna have regular full metal jacket or those regular rounds. You're gonna have uranium tipped rounds, depleted uranium in all the vehicles. It'll be kind of worrisome for soldiers to be carrying around a uranium tipped 5.56 or whatever caliber, but still, like, did we just arm terrorists with all these dangerous uranium type ammunition along with the weapons?
Oh no, we absolutely did. If they're willing to report how much we left, and it's like an absurd amount, just imagine the secret boxes that were in there and the secret facilities that they didn't put on the news. You're right.
And let's not forget infrastructure. We helped build up cities and roads and everything else too. When you leave a place like that, I thought the whole policy was scorched earth and like wipe it all out. So when the enemy rolls in, they have nothing to work on.
And that also leads me down to the path of like they got radar equipment, they got computers, they got um medical equipment, they got like we pulled out so fast, we weren't able to like destroy or take back anything with us kind of thing.